Hi, my name is Maria Zaroulis, and I was asked to investigate an alleged haunting at Tewksbury Town Hall. Take a look and see what we found out. My experience with the paranormal is that I am a psychic medium. This is my first time doing an official ghost hunt at a allegedly haunted location, but I do work as a psychic medium on a regular basis. So I've decided to investigate Tewksbury Town Hall because over the years there has been some alleged activity here. Different employees have mentioned of hearing different sounds at night, or items have moved. The tools that I brought today are a set of dowsing rods, which are used to detect energy, and it's also a way for spirits to communicate. I brought with me an EMF meter, which will detect changes in temperature as well as magnetic frequencies. I also brought my ghost box. This is exciting. So this, again, is another tool that can be used for spirits to communicate. It runs through AM and FM stations very rapidly, and it's a way that you can pick up words or phrases from the other side. I also brought a sketch pad, because occasionally when I see spirit, or they're showing me something, sometimes I feel compelled to draw it out. So I brought that just in case I see something, and then I can try to sketch it out in the moment and show it to the camera. So about a month ago, I came in here to do a baseline investigation, and that is specifically to see if there are any pieces of equipment, heating systems, lights that may throw off my equipment. And during that investigation, I discovered that there is at least one spirit residing here at Town Hall, and he seems to like to spend his time in very specific areas of the building. He kept making one of my meters spike whenever he was around, and I had to chase him around a little bit. I did get his name, so tonight we will be locked in the building, and we will investigate more thoroughly, and hopefully we can get him, or if he has friends, to communicate with us and find out who he is, why he's here, and why he likes these specific areas of the building. So I'm turning on my meter to see if we have any guests here in this room. The last time I was here, he really liked hanging out on that stage, and then he ran down that staircase on me. With this meter, I'm looking for spikes in energy and changes in temperature, drastic changes. The changes in the meter and in the temperature will signify that there's a shift in the energy surrounding this antenna. So that would mean that some other energetic entity, if you will, is close. Because if you're standing here, it's at 0 right now, so it's not picking up anything. But if it all of a sudden jumps to 15,000, that tells me that something is here. There's something very close, and you can't see it. After we did the baseline read, we knew what areas of the building or what pieces of equipment that are here were causing it to fluctuate. The last time I was here, I felt him following me around. It felt like he was circling around me everywhere I went. He seemed very curious, so I feel like he may be starting to come out now. So this fella loves this front foyer of the building. I don't know why. He also liked to hang out on the staircase when I was here last time. So let's see if we can find him there. I'm going to hang out on these steps for a little while. Let's see. Being a psychic medium, I am clairaudient, which means I can hear anything that, spirit wants to say. Now, it's not necessarily, it doesn't sound like someone is speaking directly into my ear. It's almost like I hear the words in my mind. On occasion, I will hear it directly in my ear, but that's rare. So when I came here for the baseline investigation, in one particular room of the building, I started to hear the name Jeremiah, Jeremiah. So as soon as I called out into the room, "Is your name Jeremiah?" My meter started to spike. I'd like to do some research on the building because when I was driving here tonight, I kept hearing a very specific name, and I'm not sure if it's probably a common name from a long time ago, but if there's some connection with the name Jeremiah to this building. Oh, see, so it's starting to climb right now. Maybe because I just said his name. So I realized that that is someone that is here with us. So let's see if Jeremiah is present tonight and wants to come out. Jeremiah, if you're here, don't be afraid to come a little bit closer. So this is scanning different stations very, very quickly. So you're picking up, a word, whatever it is that's going on in that station. That's what this is doing. I'm drawing right now an image that I'm seeing in my head. I'm not sure. I feel that this is possibly one of our guests that is being a little shy tonight, and I am not I'm no Picasso, I'll tell you that. So I'm just going to draw it the best I can of what I'm seeing. I feel like this man is not that old. I also feel that he has been deceased for a very long time. I feel like he's in his 50s, but there's something about him that looks weathered, which is why I'm getting the sense that he may have, his occupation may have been a farmer, or he did some kind of work outside. He's showing me money, actual bills, money, not dollar signs. And what I'm feeling from him is that there's some monetary attachment to this building. This is not a very good drawing, but, and he looks younger than the way I'm seeing him, because I'm not good at drawing aged faces. But this is generally what I'm seeing is this man. I think I have two people here. I feel that there are two different male spirits. This one that I just drew is not I can separate them now. One feels much older. One feels like he worked outside. One feels like he was possibly a farmer. And I feel like that is Jeremiah. This man that I am feeling now, that was showing me money, who also is attached to this building, I feel like is not as old as the other spirit. And I don't know if they're together because they're related, or it's simply that they just both have an attachment to this building for some reason. I'm going to move. So these dowsing rods are made of copper, and what they do is copper will detect energy. You've seen them probably in maybe old movies. People used something like this to detect where there's water, because water is a conductor of energy, so that's why these would work. So we're going to use these in the same manner in the hopes that they can detect some energetic shift in the room, and we can also use them for communication. Is your name Jeremiah? Cross the rods for yes, separate the rods for no. Is your name Jeremiah? Yes, thank you. Is your name Jeremiah? Yes, thank you. Is your name Jeremiah? Yes, thank you. Jeremiah, were you a farmer? Yes. Okay. Did you work in this building? Yes. Why would a farmer work in this building? The temperature's going up in here. It's gone up 6 degrees since we started. And I'm going to explain that to you. Some people will say that, and you see this a lot in movies, that when there's a ghost present or spirit or whatever you want to call it, that the temperature will drop. In my experience, when spirit is present, and I'm sticking to there is more than one here and he's just lying to me right now, the room actually will heat up. So there's a tremendous amount of energy in this room right now. And he, Mr. Jeremiah, you don't want to tell me that there's more of you here. So let's see. I'm going to ask you to spell your last name. I'm going to call out the letters. You tap. When I get to the first letter of your last name, A, B, C, C. Thank you. Second letter, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, H. Third letter of your last name, A, N. Jeremiah, is your last name Chandler? Cross them for yes, separate for no. Jeremiah Chandler, folks. Do you think they named Chandler Street after him? It's possible. I believe that we have made contact with Mr. Jeremiah Chandler. He seems very happy that we have acknowledged him. So I think that's why he makes noise. He just wants someone to say, hi, I know you're here. So he had some involvement with the building. He feels like he's home here, is what he was saying. So I don't feel that there's anything for anyone to fear. He doesn't want to bother anyone. He's just making himself at home. Yeah. I'm going to leave the equipment running for the rest of the night in hopes that we can capture some activity. Perhaps we will see something. or hear something, things that go bump in the night. And in the meantime, I'm going to do some research on Jeremiah Chandler and find out what his significance was in regards to the town hall. And I will be back. So during the investigation, I was able to connect with a gentleman's spirit named Jeremiah. As we continued on with the investigation, I was able to get some more information from him. As you can see in some of the clips, we discovered that this spirit was a farmer. And he had a very strong connection, for some reason, to the town hall. After doing some extensive research, we discovered that Jeremiah Kittredge Chandler is the gentleman who is spending some quality time still at town hall, and he was indeed a farmer. In fact, he grew flowers and other vegetables, and he sold them to local markets. So Jeremiah Chandler was also a member of the House of Representatives, which I thought was pretty impressive to find out. He was one of the founding members of the Tewksbury Town Hall, and I believe that that is the main reason why he still spends time there. He feels such a strong connection. He feels that town hall, it was such a big part of his life in regards to building it. He just doesn't seem to want to leave. He feels a connection, and I think he feels very protective of the building itself. There didn't appear to be any anger or anything scary going on in regards to Mr. Chandler. I think that if anyone is in the town hall and has any experiences with his presence, there's nothing to be afraid of. He seems very content and happy to be acknowledged. He was also a warden of the almshouses at the state hospital. So I thought that was of interest as well. During the investigation, I did come upon a second spirit who was also male. And you can see in the clip that I drew this gentleman the best that I could. He appeared to me as being very well-to-do, if you will. There was something about him that seemed like he was wealthy. And he also kept showing me a lot of money, and I wasn't sure why he was showing me the money. I kept hearing the word farmer very loudly, and at first I thought it was still just a connection to Mr. Chandler, but I was hearing it so loud, I started to think that this may be someone else's name. So I started to do more investigating as far as research goes on who this person could possibly be. And what I found out was that there's a gentleman named Frank H. Farmer who also had a very strong connection to the town hall. He was one of the founding members of building that town hall. One of the reasons I feel he kept showing me money was he was also a, how do I say this? He was the town treasurer at the time. He was also in the House of Representatives. He was the owner of the Farmer Funeral Parlor, which is now known as Farmer and D Funeral Home. He also owned a fire insurance company, as well as an oil and coal company. So this man had a tremendous amount of money for the time. He was a very well-respected gentleman. As we continued with our investigation, we came upon a large marble plaque that was on the wall in one of the rooms. And I can't tell you how many times I've been in this room and have never noticed this plaque before. I never thought to read it. I just saw that there was a big piece of white marble on the wall. And that is when we discovered both of these gentlemen's names inscribed on this plaque, which we found to be amazing. So a lot of this research really validates the information that I was able to get during the investigation itself. This all came to me while we were there filming, but it's challenging because you don't have a person there in the moment to validate that information for you. So really, I had to do historical research to piece it all together so it makes sense to the viewer. So thank you for watching my first ghost hunt investigation. I hope that everyone will send me your feedback. I would love to hear what you thought of it. I would also love to hear ideas of other buildings or places that you think may need investigating. You can reach me at any time at maria@mariazarulis.com, and I look forward to receiving your emails. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the show.